Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi class, welcome to the fourth meetings of our material development class. And today we are going to talk about design phase. Okay, in this discussion, we are going to talk about what kinds of activities that you should do in this designing phase of your material development. So let's check this out. So, what do we need to do at this phase? Okay, designing phase is the very first phase of your material development. This is the initial phase before you do the development phase at the next steps. Okay, so what we are going to do in this phase, the first thing that you have to do is about analysis of curriculums. So, the very first that you need to do is by seeking the curriculum, the current curriculums that you are going to use as the parameters of your learning materials. So the representatives of the curriculums is mostly syllabus. Okay, you can find out any syllabus that you want to develop the materials. Okay. It is gonna be better if you can complete your syllabus with the lesson plan. You can create your own lesson plan, or you can modify the available ones. Okay, so what kinds of analysis that you have to do? Based on a syllabus, first. The common information that you try to seek is about the learning objectives and learning outcomes of the meetings or of the current topic that you are going to develop. The materials. For example, you want to take the first meeting of the syllabus. It is about introductions. For example, you have to identify what is the basic competencies, what is the standard competency, what is the learning objectives, what is the learning outcomes that is expected by the learnings. So what is the end results of the students that this curriculum asks? So the objectives of the curriculums is the basic and parameters that you use to develop your material. So you cannot go outside from the curriculums. You have to follow the curriculums because it's your base. Okay. So you have to try to identify what is the standard basic competency, main competency, learning objectives, and learning outcomes. You have to know what kinds of outcomes that this curriculum wants. If at the end of the meetings your students asked to be able, for example, can introduce themselves in front of the class, then you have to try to manage or to develop your materials based on its objectives. Okay, how do you design your material based on that objectives? Okay, your activity should connect or should represent the learning objectives of the curriculum itself. Okay, so first, please analyze the curriculum. Next stage is about the analysis of students. This is really important phase actually of material development. So what kind of analysis that you can do? Actually, it can be done by observations. It can be done also by tests. So you have to know what kinds of learning preference of which exists among your students, whether they prefer audio, visual, or pictures book, or what kinds of text that they prefer, whether they love arts, text about arts, text about entertainment, text about technology or whatsoever. It depends. It really should be based on your students' preference. So you have to know what kinds of preference that they want, what kinds of preference do they have, because minding your students' preference is gonna increase their motivations to follow your instructions and also enjoying your learning materials. Okay, and also you have to identify what states your students' level is. Are they kinds of lower, middle, or upper achiever, or what? It is really needed because you have to decide your your material difficulties, your activities difficulties, your tax difficulties, whether your tax is way too easy, because way too easy activities gonna make them bored, or too difficult activities also will decrease their motivation to learn. So you have to know the the exact level of your students. Okay, next phase is about designing prototype. After you know about the learning objective, learning outcomes of your learning of the curriculums, and then you already know about the conditions of your students, the next you will design the prototype. Okay, the objectives is like this, and my students conditions is like this. So what kinds of materials that I'm going to provide? Is it a textbook? Is it a worksheet? Or is it a learning video, or what? So you have to decide then what kinds of learning material that you want to develop, and also its content. Okay, for example, my students prefer sports, technology, and arts. They love to read those three types of text. So I would like to provide them with those types of reading material. So you can design the prototypes of your learning material. Okay, I will start with, for example, I will start with giving them problems to be solved, for example, and then I will continue with the what is material delivery, and then I will continue with problem or giving them problems or case to be solved. Taken it as for example. That's a prototype that you want to. It is a kind of imagination. It is kind of your creativity, and it is a procedure. It is a procedure, main procedure that you are going to give, or what you are going to do with your learning material. It's grand designs of your learning material. That's a prototype. So it is the main contents of the materials, which started from the initial one to the very end one. For example, from the brainstorming one to the exercise one. Okay. And the last one is collecting sources. Okay, this is this in this phase. If you already have the objectives, you have the situations and conditions of your students, and then you already have your prototype or the designs of your material, and then it's time to explore the sources. It can be from the textbook, worksheet, pictures, internet, video, and so on. You can collect as much as you want, because in the next phase you will do any material selection. So in this time, you okay, what kinds of materials that you think's gonna be filled, that will fill this objective, that will deliver the materials in a proper way. So what kinds of video that you want to give, what kinds of exercise that will fulfilling your students' need. Okay, so you can seek from any textbook, or even you can create by yourself. So it is about the source exploration. Just collect as much as you want, as much as you need. Okay, so that's the designing phase. It is about analyzing the curriculum, analyzing the your students, and also designing your prototype and collecting your sources to be developed as learning material. So that's all for our meeting today. Next week we are going to continue our discussion with the next topic, that is development phase, or the main course of the learning material development. I can see you next week. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.